We like old adverts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of We Like Old Adverts, the channel where we find an old advert and talk about how good or bad it is. And today we've got another 3 belters for you, so get your eyes on this.
They are the most monstrous and gross. If you love slime, then it's about time for Oozers. It's slime time. Oozers. Oozers. Oozing with fun, try squeezing one. They're Oozers. Monstrous slime, each sold separately.
Good, isn't it?
So good. It's so good.
That fella's just going through his vinegar strokes, isn't he?
That certainly sounds that way. Like, it's the vocal performance in that is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds so frantic. There's so much to it. And the music's so perfectly pitched as well. That advert is ridiculous. It's one of the most ridiculous ones we've had. The product is ridiculous. The way they sell it is ridiculous. Like, Are these people crying out their own guts? Is that like, why do you want a toy where, he like bleeds his internal organs out of his eyes? Why? Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't ask questions. But that little girl lip syncs that Oozers bit perfectly. I hope she goes on to bigger things like the lip sync battle with like The Rock and Stephen Merchant.
That shit might have sailed, can't give me the age of it.
The Rock and Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, they're on stuff like that, aren't they?
It's Steve Merchant's thing, isn't it? In America.
Is it?
right.
Has he hosted? Well, there you go. I've nailed it.
I would have pestered my parents endlessly for these toys. I'd have played with it once, then thrown it in the toy bucket that's only used for when my little cousin comes around and I don't want him playing with my best figures. You know that one? You can't play with the Raphael, play with the Oozers. We've run out of ooze. Your problem.
Yeah, the Oozers work once, don't they? You squeeze it once, it's done. They don't come with a full tank of ooze that you can just recycle. It's done.
They sell it separately. But I mean, presumably you can put anything in that.
Like
You
jam.
can put ketchup in it.
Scrambled egg.
Have it
That's a
properly
good point, actually,
bleeding.
Jim. It'd be better like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross food. Like,
Poppers. You can put poppers in it.
So one of them's bleeding quite profusely from his neck, isn't he?
Mm.
Like, that's the most kind of visceral one. Oh, I love that line in it as well. Oozing with fun, try squeezing one. Like,
Yeah.
careful with that language around kids, eh?
You see what those 2 lads were playing on? Like a
bar.
Table tap, and there's like a bar around it, and they had their arms awkwardly under it, like. Oh.
I like the conceit that these kids are playing with toys around loads of lit candles. Shall we play with a Thundercat Mountain, Darren? Let me just get my Yankee candle burning, you know?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they're probably spending a night in a haunted house so as to get access to a previously unknown relative's will. Or
In the other room going, ooh. You see, Connell, I just went, ooh, and all your equipment fell apart.
Yeah, it got me. It
Tell me
shook my
there's no
house.
such thing as ghosts.
As a parent, you'd hate that kind of product, right? It's like, well, this is going to ruin the carpet, or they're going to kick off until Christmas Day. If we don't get it them on Christmas Day, they're going to kick off. And, oh, God, what have you done to us, Oozers?
I never saw these. Were you familiar with these as a kid? I never saw
No. What about boozers, though?
Loads of them.
They've all turned into flats now.
Yeah. Our next advert's from my older brother, Joe.
Hi.
Who's with us. So what made you bring this, Joe?
This is our first. We've had a few recommendations. This is our first dedication. This is for my mate Claire Simpson. Jim knows her very well as well. When I first moved to London many moons ago, this advert was on heavy rotation on the telly, and it was just as insufferable then as it is now. And I suppose I'm bringing this to you all to share my pain, because this runs through my head quite kind of constantly, and maybe to exercise a few demons as well. It is hateful.
Fruity, tooty, now my jeans fits my booty gooey. Heaven, yummy food 24/7 tick tock. Smoothies and shakes, totally rock. Walking tall. I like that mirror on the wall. Funky monkey, give me a chocolate bar that's chunky. Oi, boy, losing weight I can enjoy. Slim happy all the way, slim fast.
The little Dwayne the Rock Johnson reference in there as well, walking tall. So Dwayne the Rock
Totally
Johnson.
rock. Yeah. This one makes me cringe my pelvis out. It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's no.
If I was a woman that's looking to lose weight, I'd feel so thoroughly patronized. I'd gain weight just to spite the person in this advert. I'd be on the kebabs and McDonald's. Here's your chunky monkey. Oh, it's everything. The language, the words up on the screen. That woman's a nightmare. Oh, hey.
It's all very cheap, isn't it? Especially like the monkey thing is fascinating. Where does chunky monkey come into it? No, it's not even just funky monkey, isn't it? Why are we suddenly singing about monkeys? And he's singing or speaking.
Any sense,
Make a decision. It's very talky singing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right in the middle. They have done that on the cheap in every conceivable area.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Losing weight I can enjoy. No. That's not how it works. You eat right and you exercise. It's not fun, but you have to do it. Smoothies and shakes totally rock. No, they don't. They replace food that tastes nice because they contain fewer calories. That's fine. Don't pretend you're cheating the system, okay? You've all got to do it off the same sheet, all right?
I love the narc message over the top that says can only help weight loss as part of a calorie controlled diet. Just like just ruining the fun they're trying to have with their advert. So you can have anything. Yeah. We do everything. We do
sort of thing you could put on literally every single food.
Yeah.
Every food advert.
Put it on McDonald's and crisps.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's 87% of your daily sugar intake. One can.
Yeah. And baked beans claim to be part of your 5 a day. Stop lying, Beans. You are not, are you? You're just not.
Lying Beans. Sick of them Beans lying to me.
Yeah, well, we let Beans lie to us, Con, and then look at what's happened to democracy.
Yeah.
And the concept of truth itself. The thin end of the wedge.
She's meant to represent the fun side of losing weight. So it's kind of, she's like Denise from work. I could be like Denise from work. Don't be like Denise from work. She's a moron. And I guarantee that happiness is all a front. It's all a front. All it takes is 3 Archers and Diet Lemonade, and we really discover what she thinks of that mirror on the wall. Come on, we've all been there. It's
feel for her.
This advert.
She's exactly the person who's being patronised by the ad.
Yeah.
I know that you've picked this because you think I'll hate it, yeah. And I know why. Because I've said before, I hate poetry, pointless poetry in adverts. It does my head in. But I have to say that this one has won me over. I quite like this one.
I knew you were going to that.
It's not so much poetry; it's straight up rap for me. Is this? And it includes
it though,
like arses, which I like, chocolate, which I like, TikTok, which is all right. Monkeys, I quite like them, and Dwayne the Rock Johnson's involved, so it's quite a good advert when you look at it. When you really look at it, yeah.
English people saying the word booty really annoys me. It's like the ever-increasing usage of English people using the word ass. Stay arse. It's arse. It's brilliant word.
Awesome as well. But there's quite a lot of adverts that do that thing where it's just words sort of coming at you, and it can be done quite well, like an animated, thing that you read effectively. But this one's it's just a bit too much, isn't it? It's all a bit it's all a bit daytime telly.
Yeah, and she signs off with this little move. You've seen it where she goes,
Slim fast.
Oh, go on, Denise.
She should do that. She's having fun with her low-calorie food, with her low-calorie snacks.
She does look like she's having fun. I like to wonder if she's like the slim fastiest faster of all time. The Biggest Loser kind of figure in the slim fast universe. I once did Slimming World for a bit, and my goal My goal was to be on the magazine that they had at the back of the church hall. I wanted to be the guy on the front with the big pants, you know. I wanted to be that guy, but I never made it. So
I always wanted to be one of those guys who like found a live rat in a tube of Pringles. You'd be on like one of the early pages of a tabloid, just a picture of you going
holding a rat.
Yeah. That's not what I bargained for.
I just
you didn't say it was a tube of rat.
Right, let's move on to the third advert of this trilogy. And we've got one from Jim, which is one of the most confusing adverts I think I've ever laid eyes on. So.
Yeah, this was recommended by a subscriber called Fishy One. So thank you for that, Fishy One. It's because we've spoken lengthily in the past on this channel about the adverts that take place in a hellscape. You know, the kind of pain relief adverts. There's a Lucasade advert that parodied it quite well.
Quattro, the cassette futurism one. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. They all seem they're set in these really aggressive, weird worlds. And Fishy One sent in what I think might actually be the ultimate example of this from Dunlop. I think if you know of a more hellish hellscape in an advert, do let us know in the comments, because I think this probably takes the crown.
Shiny boots of leather, whiplash, girl child in the dark. Comes in bells, your servant, don't forsake him. Strive, dear mistress, and cure his heart. Streetlight fancies, chase the costumes she shall wear. Ermine furs adorn imperious. Severin awaits you there.
Eye bleach. Yeah. What? Oh.
There's a lot going on in that hellscape.
There's no way that advert could be made today and good. You know what I mean? There are too many satirical YouTube channels out there.
Well, the really interesting thing about this advert is it was directed by Tony Kaye, who he directs a lot of 90s music videos, people like Soul Asylum, stuff that look that is throughout the advert there. You know, there's the Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins and Metallica videos that look very, very similar to that, and it was quite a common style. But he was also the director of American History X, and quite famously, he ended up taking his name off of it because he had a lot of conflict with Edward Norton, a lot of conflict with the studio as well, to the point where he'd finished it. The studio wanted some changes, and the debate got so bad, he spent $100,000 of his own money to take out 35 full-page ads in the Hollywood trade press, just denouncing the whole thing. And he went to a meeting with them, and he brought a Catholic priest, a Jewish rabbi, and a Tibetan monk to try and ease the negotiations. And it just became this whole mad thing. And in the end, he didn't want his name on it, so he insisted his name being credited as Humpty Dumpty. And I think this is just before all that happened, because that film eventually came out in 1998. This was made in 93, but I know it's quite a long process. So, like, we are seeing the vision of a very complicated person in this advert, and I think that's really clear, isn't it? But I can sense that you hate it, Joe. But
I think it's the highfalutin. You're selling some tires. You know what I mean? I've nothing against this kind of art at all. But when just stop pissing around. Just give me what is it? It's like, well, these tires are so good they can go over marbles. Oh,
yeah,
right. I mean, there's a lot of them about. Stay safe, but Yeah, it's pretentious as all hell, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And
But I think
don't bring Velvet Underground into it, please, because it does remind me how much I love the Velvet Underground. It's a brilliant song, Venus in Furs. It's a brilliant album, brilliant band, but it's a strange choice because it's about BDSM, that song. And when you look around that advert, there's a lot of kind of kink imagery. It's like a gimp mask and a basque. There's nothing wrong with that as per se. It's just a strange mix of the lifestyle, as they call it, and kids. You know, you've got things living in the same realm, which I think probably should be kept well apart.
There's just a lot of weirdness in it. The idea is that, you know, these tyres can cope with anything. And like, I like that some of the things are a road full of pianos, one of which jumps off of a motorway.
But we don't see it smash. That's the point. Yeah.
Suicidal piano. And another one is
to fall on top of the piano and it's smash and he look up and smile and all the keys are coming out of his teeth. That's what I want.
If I was Dunlop, I'd be a bit annoyed because they've spent a lot of money on an advert that's in a minute and a half long, and not once do they mention their trainers or their tennis
rackets.
You know, that's what they're big for, isn't it? Tennis rackets. They should have just had Nadal in background with a corset on or something going, yeah, you can get them as well.
Yeah, you should have a Cliff Richard whipping Sue Barker in the rain at Wimbledon. Oh, wasn't that funny?
Yeah, no one asked for it, but it's happening. For some reason, it's a beloved thing that happened, even it's one of the most cringiest things that's ever happened. I completely forgot that Dunlop made trainers as well.
Yeah. It's weird when it's like Caterpillar make diggers and a very specific type of shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when companies do that.
I'm into that, to be honest. After the piano that jumps off of the flyover, there are like, you know those, like, they're called rattan balls? Like that upper middle class people have in like a fruit bowl. They'll just have like a wooden ball rather than some fruit in their fruit bowl for some reason.
I don't know what that means, Jim. That doesn't register for me. I've never come across that.
Tell you what, I'll get Joe to Google it and he can put a picture in. And then the first time you understand that will be when you're watching back this video.
I still might not understand it. A ball in a fruit bowl.
Yeah, like a little wooden ball in a fruit bowl. It's a decorative thing. It's called a rattan ball.
Do you remember earlier on where Jim claimed to be working class?
I said I used to be working class. When I was a kid, I was working class, but now I'm.
You looked at a rattan ball and suddenly changed.
I tell you, I'm so middle class. I eat more 3. So
pick us up a rattan ball while you're at Tesco, please.
Hugo.
Yeah. When you're at Waitrose, don't forget the rattan ball.
Anyway. This car, whoever's in it, Lou Reed maybe, driving around at night at that point, and there's just loads of massive rattan balls spitting fire in the road. And then there's all those guys in the lake just rubbing the lake. What they rub? Were you rubbing the lake? I'm into it. I'd love to see the full-length cut of this. If that bloody studio hadn't interfered with Tony Kaye's vision, I bet this was meant to be about an hour and a half long.
I liked all the people in it. There's a man that's a birdcage. Did you see him? Right at the start. There's a birdcage. A woman.
We don't see enough of him.
Yeah, it's true.
And then there's a fella just floating in honey in a bit of it. It's amazing what people get up to.
What are you into? I'm into leather. I'm into ball gags. I'm into slapping a lake.
Yeah. Rattan ball gags.
Hey.
Right, so that's the Dunlop advert seen and forgotten for all eternity because I never want to see that again. No. But yeah, thanks very much for watching and hope to see you on the next one. If you liked it, please leave a comment down below and let us know what your favourites were, what you didn't like, stuff like that. We don't mind, you can criticise us because that's what we do. That's all we do, criticise. Bad lads, really, when you think about it. But yeah, please like and subscribe and all the social media jazz. And we'll see you on the next one.
Also, if you have a recommendation or there's something you'd like to see us take a look at, just make a little video of yourself and send it to welikeoldadverts@gmail.com. And if we like the advert, we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.